What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. This is T-Word, the People's Champ. Thank you for tapping in. Today, we're going to talk about Inoue and the potential outcomes that he might be staring down after his match with Cool Boy Stephen Fulton. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We do appreciate your feedback. Now, let's get into the video. So, Inoue and Stephen Fulton are scheduled to face off and have a great fight in Japan for 2 belts at 122 pounds. Inoue comes in fresh off becoming the undisputed champion at 118 pounds, and he's moving up to challenge Stephen Fulton for the titles he's accumulated over the last couple of years. Now, this is scheduled to be a really great fight, and fans are in for a great treat. But let's look beyond that. Let's think about a potential income for Inoue, specifically if he's to go ahead and win this fight and he beats Cool Boy, and then he can also match up with MJ for the other 2 belts in the division and becomes undisputed. Is it possible that Terrence Crawford will have an opportunity to pass Inoue and gain his number 1 pound for pound status back? I think this is a really interesting perspective to explore, because you'll have Inoue, who's tackled championships in already 3 divisions. This will be his 4th. He'd have 2 undefeated and undisputed reigns. That's going to be at 118 and 122. Where you compare that to Crawford's resume, he's got belts at 35, undisputed at 40. And if he's to face off against Errol Spence and get that belt, that's going to give him a great win over a really good fighter and also his 2nd undisputed division. This is going to be a really good comparison to try and lay out, because with 2 men having 2 times undisputed, something that you really hadn't seen in history, multi-division champions, 3 or more divisions, which guy would you place at number 1 in the pound for pound rankings? I think then you'd really have to take a close look at each person's resume and who they fought and beat for those titles. And in my opinion, Inoue would have the edge. I don't think, even with an undisputed win over Errol Spence, that Terrence Crawford could pass him again. The only way that he surpasses Inoue is if Inoue is to lose to Fulton. I'd love to get your thoughts on this particular perspective, because as you wrap your mind around it, this isn't a dig at Terrence Crawford. This is just considering, if you do have a pound for pound list, what does it take for you to measure a person that ranks on a pound for pound? For me personally, I don't actually rank Errol Spence that high on the pound for pound list, because while he's one of my preferred fighters, he hasn't tackled multiple divisions yet. Terrence Crawford deserves the recognition that he gets for being a champion at 35, 40, and eventually 47. And I think that he's appropriately credited for that, despite the competition he's faced. Inoue, on the other hand, the only division he skipped on his way up to 122 is 115. It just wasn't a deep enough division, and he jumped right into a challenge at 18, facing guys like Nonito Donaire, and then eventually he got his last belt at that division from Butler. So if you just look at the resume side by side, where there may be some similarities in depth of talent that they faced, I do tend to edge to Inoue, because I do feel like he was in closer battles, and he actually had a nemesis that he faced twice in Nonito Donaire, who I think is a Hall of Fame fighter. So like I said, would love to hear what you guys think about this particular perspective. This has been T-Word for the Mic Check Podcast. Until the next time, I'm out. Peace.